I will give you some more information about my presentation, because presentation I prepared for today is a little bit more practical. Maybe you will see just how legislation and legal framework really has influence on what we are doing and what impact it can have. I will also try to focus a little bit more on the situation that is here in Slovak Republic. Also maybe a little bit on neighboring states, but I will try to focus on Slovakia more. So, well, you know, what's very typical for extremists, what's really typical for extremists in the world, and also in Slovakia, it's that they're significant for them. It's music, it's, you know, typical clothes, and also typical speech. Region in the middle of Europe had also its own typical tradition in organizing music events, and specifically white power music concert. These were organized for obvious reason close to the borders. It was in Slovakia, happening in Slovakia, Czech Republic, in Hungary, and also in Poland. These concerts are usually great opportunity to self-promotion, but also for selling goods that are illegal, commit acts that are not precisely legal, and also to recruit new members. A couple of years ago, we were looking for a way on how to fight this, or what to do about this in Slovakia. And we just came up with an idea on asking for help the neighboring countries. So the international concert that was going to happen in a specific area that it was usually going on in private building was happening like always. So, you know, the private invitations were sent out, and usually this communication about, you know, organizational details and so on was kept low via some instant messaging platforms. And so we were looking for what to do. We asked our partners from the countries from which these bands and members of the bands were coming to send us information about these. Of course, these information were regarding the reputation of the band, reputation of the members of the band, criminal activities, and we also tried to check their music production. Actually, not all this information were useful, but some of them were. So after we gained all this information, and we just prepared this final information, there was decided that we have enough to ban them from entering the country. It was for specific time, so and the reason why we did that was that they would cause the threat to public safety and security, and that was really possible that they would commit some crimes based on the history of their behavior. So because we only received relevant information from the one country, as I already said, we were only able to take these measures regarding, I don't know, just some of these people. But it was enough. In the end, it was enough because, you know, for organizers, this is not a good commercial. You know, there are people who are paying to entry, something like this. And these people are really not happy when they will not see what they were coming to see, or when the members of the band are afraid that something like this also will happen to them. So after this happened, we don't have any knowledge of something else happening like this in this area, and we were really happy for that. And I'm not saying that this is precisely solution for everything, but at least we are happy that these concerts are not happening here, but they were removed somewhere else. As I already said, extremist activities are also based, and why they are actually done is for making money many times. It's making money on extremist brands, culture created by selling clothes and literature. What actually seems, according to our legal system, as the biggest or one of the most challenging problems is and also is the concern for us in the future is the symbolics. We had and we have problems with this because we in here we don't have the list of symbols that are forbidden or that are illegal. Let's say we always need during the criminal procedures expert opinions on this symbol, that symbol, on books, sometimes even motto. And you know, these are usually modified and they are changed with times and with, you know, social conditions and new people coming, you know, new influences from abroad and so on. With these stores selling extremist material, well, there are also needed these expert opinions on some books, clothes, music, compact discs, and so on. And we can only work after all this information are put well together. Also with the information about legal and illegal activities of the individual. And this is really some hard work to build a real case. So this is actually a problem that we are seeing, and also the problem in our legal framework, how this extremist material is put or how is it described in our penal code. During all these cases we were going through, we saw that there are real connections between these people. There are real connections between people that are owning shops, between people that are producing music, between people that are just trying to get into politics and have like real influence on decisions that are made by our parliament, or laws that are created by a national council. So as we saw, these people just moving from the organizations that were part of, that were political or non-political, they were also active in other fields. And even those who didn't have, you know, violent behavior, they always had connections, or they were in close connections with people who this bad behavior or violent behavior had. So we saw these connections many times. That's why we sometimes can't see if this extremism is violent or non-violent, because people that were before violent are becoming non-violent extremists, but had such a big influence on people who can become violent. And these people are now regular, normal people who just got under their influence. Well, as I said, some years before it was easier. We had violent racist extremists that were putting on paper their racist thoughts, aspiring for society that has not same rights for people from different social circles or skin color. They were shouting loud on people from other countries on the streets to get out. And for this they were punished, imprisoned or fined. The movement of these people was banned by Supreme Court, but now what we can see also as police is much bigger problem. The problem we are facing now is something we still cannot punish with law, and that is self-presentation and very, very soft ways of extremist propaganda, especially online. It's quite sophisticated, doesn't seem that violent. It's more like slowly, quietly, wisely spread information, very well picked information among audiences. This is happening by using disinformation webs, by strategic communication used by extremists. It's very hard for us fighting this or just you know, somehow looking for the message in their speech, in their rhetoric. So sometimes it's really, really hard and even not able to punish these people because, you know, that light message is still there, but it's not so obvious. Exactly because of this situation, as I described, no possibility of further connection, further connections and contacts because of pandemic and frustration of common people. We also detected some attempts of possibly violent extremist terrorist activities, but you know, main actors were not exactly extremists as we see them and as we know them. Because what we actually observe, and that was very well seen during the pandemic, was the common people got influenced by extremist ideas, they got violent, and along with so-called extremists, they went in the streets. And after threatening via social networks, the government members started to attack government offices, building, and asking demands. This is but really not surprising. It's not happening only in here, we know it. But the problem is that with these common people drawing up ideas from extremist strategic communication, we might get somewhere close to what happened with Capital. By the end, I would just say that we are not used to see typical extremist violent behavior anymore, but we see rays of extremist thoughts in common population. The agenda before based on refugee quotas, Roma community, and violent actions belonging to these had disappeared and was replaced by strategic communication using of legal instruments, you know, democratic means, and we can say that has much bigger influence on common people, which is just bad, and we have to fight it not only as police, but as the whole society. So, thank you very much.